Hey guys, what is going on, and welcome to episode number 84 of Career Mode. This is the special in-depth look at the save where we will casually go through what's been going on around the world in European football, break down the top scorers, the assists and clean sheet charts across the Premier League, the FA Cup and Europa League, take one last look at the squad for Season 4, and today we're going to consider the possibility of moving clubs for Season 5 as well. So, of course, as you see there in the top right, Sheffield United are Europa League winners. If you missed the finale of Career Mode this season, then what were you doing? You missed an incredible finale. Of course, the heartbreaking 2-1 loss to Liverpool at Wembley in the FA Cup final, but a bounce back in midweek. Our victory over Milan by 3-0. Tony, the hat-trick hero, meaning we pick up our first piece of silverware of the save. It's the first European trophy in Sheffield United history, and it does mean next season the Blades will be playing Champions League football at Bramwell Lane as well. Question is, will we be there for it? Well, who knows? But yeah, today loads of things to get through, and I'm also going to try and answer a few questions that I didn't get through to in the last episode as well. So loads of stuff to get through today. Let's just dive straight into it. So it's only appropriate that we start off with the Premier League table in full. For those that didn't watch the whole of Season 4 but were interested to see how it finished up, this is how things finished up, and I'll answer a few questions whilst I'm here. First one from Owen saying improvements on career mode for FIFA 21. Spoilers, Owen, but I do have a career mode wishlist video coming out in the recent future, so look forward to that. I'll talk about my hopeful improvements of career mode next year in that video. And Hanley says, which team has surprised you the most so far, and do you think they can continue their said form till the end of the season? Well, it's got to be Sheffield United, hasn't it? Sheffield United this season in real life have just been a joy to watch under Chris Wilder, and I so badly hope they can maintain that form until the end of the season. They've been the feel-good story of the Premier League this year, and they've been everyone's sort of second team to watch, I feel, and yeah, hopefully they can do just that. But a look at the league table with Sheffield United in the game. As you can see, we did finish in 5th place, just like last season after our win on the final day, 4-0 at the Emirates Stadium, saw us leapfrog Everton on the final game to jump back into 5th place. We finished 6 points behind Chelsea in the race to the top 4. As we know, the board wanted Champions League football. We've given it to them, but not through the league. 5th place in the end. City once again crowned champions. That's the 3rd league title they've won in the 4 years in this Premier League. Liverpool and Spurs and Chelsea wrapped up the top 4. Everton and Brighton wrapped up the Europa League places. And Arsenal, of course, were the disappointing story this season, finishing in 11th place. But the bottom 3 were Fulham, Aston Villa, and poor old Huddersfield Town. Back down to the Championship. The Terriers, for the second time they've been in this career mode, have ended up in single digits with points, setting a worst and now second worst record for lowest amount of Premier League points in a Premier League season. Tough for the Terriers. We'll now take a look at the domestic cups in England and also the European cups as well. Starting with the Carabao Cup, where Manchester City were the winners. They beat Chelsea by 2-0, and that's how the semi-finals ended up looking. Sin, or Sign, says favourite football commentator and favourite bit of commentary in football. Oh, that's a great question, man. That's a really good question. My favourite commentator, I don't actually watch that much football live anymore, and I don't really watch Sky anymore. I don't have Sky anymore, but I used to really like Rob Hawthorne when he used to commentate. I thought his commentary style was really, really good. Very, very excitable, but he sort of picked and chose his right moments really when to sort of up his enthusiasm and sometimes when to keep him more casual. I feel like Martin Tyler was my favourite for a long time, but in recent years, I don't know if you guys agree with me here, but in recent years, I feel like he's sort of fallen off a little bit in terms of commentary quality. I don't really feel as engrossed in his commentary as I used to. I'm not sure if you guys agree with me, but I don't think Martin Tyler is as good as he used to be, go back a decade or so ago. But my favourite bit of football commentary, as you see the Europa League winners, Sheffield United, who won the Champions League? Who won the Champions League? Or is that still to be played? Oh, it's still to be played. It's RB Leipzig versus Man City in the final in a few days' time. My favourite bit of football commentary, I mean, there are so many fantastic pieces out there, but I've mentioned this before. My favourite bit of football commentary is actually Manchester United's 1999 Champions League win against Bayern Munich. However, it's not the piece of commentary that most people think about when they think about the 99 Champions League final win for United. Most people remember that as and Solskjaer has won it, the banner at Old Trafford, Clive Tilsley's famous words. It's not actually Clive Tilsley's bit of commentary, which was my favourite bit. It's actually Alan Green's 1999 BBC Radio 5 live audio. And I'll leave a link to the commentary in the description down below for you guys to listen to. Alan Green has obviously been a long-term radio commentator for the BBC, and obviously I've listened to so many of his commentaries, and the bit that always stands out to me there is when he says Manchester United. It's basically it's after Solskjaer scores his goal, and he says Manchester United rule Europe. I don't believe it, but it's happened. And it really just summed up what everyone was feeling at the time. You see Tony there winning the Golden Boot with 31 goals in 37. One clear of Leroy Sané, who was probably the Premier League's best player this year, as he topped the assist charts as well. Calvert-Lewin also made it to the top 10 with 20 goals. So Tony and DCL combined with 51 goals. Yeah, it's the way he describes first Sheringham's goal to get back on level terms for United. And then the winning goal from Solskjaer, just the Manchester United rule Europe. I don't believe it, but it's happened. Because, a few minutes ago, it was unfathomable that... Unfathomable? You couldn't fathom that Manchester United were going to go on to win that game in the dying seconds of normal time. A goal down with like a minute to go. And then to score those 2 late goals from the corners. Nobody would have predicted that. Not a single soul would have predicted that in the final few seconds. And that's why I just love the Manchester United rule Europe. I don't believe it, but it's happened. It's a lovely bit of commentary. And again, I'll leave a link to it down below in the description if you guys want to check it out. Clive Tilsley's bit of commentary is fantastic, but yeah, I must say I think that Alan Green's commentary for that, I don't believe it, but it's happened. Just a brilliant piece of commentary, and definitely worth listening to. God, that was probably the nerdiest answer I've ever given to a Q&A, isn't it? Like 5 minutes talking about some radio commentary. But yeah, you see Morelos here, top scorer in the FA Cup. So in all 3 of our competitions, the top scorers were Sheffield United players. Of course, not the Carabao Cup, but in the Europa League, in the Premier League, and also in the FA Cup, we had 3 top scorers for Sheffield United. Morelos, the Europa League and FA Cup Golden Boot winner, and of course Tony, back-to-back Golden Boot winner in the Premier League as well. We talked about it throughout the course of the season. The reason why we had such a successful campaign, particularly in Europe, was our high-powered offense, backed up by the top scorer charts there. Right now, we're going to take a look at the other leagues in Europe, starting with the lower leagues in the English football pyramid as well. And it's appropriate. The next question comes from TGM Plays. He says, thoughts on the Rowett revelation so far? Well, he's been fantastic, hasn't he? Absolutely brilliant. I was very sad when Neil decided to walk away from the club. Don't get me wrong. Fantastic job he did during the time here, but I think he knew it was time to go. He'd lost a lot of the fans. I feel like he was probably losing a little bit of control in the dressing room as well. So he stepped away for the good of the club. And since he has stepped down, I mean, Gary's been absolutely superb, hasn't he? Absolutely brilliant, and I'm loving it to pieces, man. I mean, seriously, long may it continue. And one of the things I love about it is you see Millwall here, second in League One, so promoted to the Championship there. One of the things I love about Gary Rowett is that he's such a forward-thinking manager. I remember John Kelly put out a tweet about when he had a post-match interview, and he said something like, I'm not interested on how many points we are clear of the drop zone, I'm just looking at how many points we are off the playoffs. I love that mentality. I absolutely love it. That kind of, forget about being safe. We're good enough to be safe. Let's think about the future. Let's think about what we can do going forward. I love that. And he's been the perfect replacement for Harris as well. Harris's recruitment, superb. These are Harris's players, don't forget. But Rowett's got him playing in the best sort of to the best of their ability, if you will, and it's been superb. And it's appropriate that we have another question here about the EFL. Will, Sheffield Wednesday fan, says, who's going up from the Championship? Well, Leeds fans are probably sick of me saying this, because for the past 3 years I've said, I think it'll be Leeds this year, I think Leeds are going to do it. For the past 3 years I've said that I think Leeds will be getting promoted, but I'm sorry, I know I've seemed to be jinxing it for the Ellen Road faithful, but I do think Leeds will do it this year. As you PSG won League One undefeated with 100 points, 31 wins and 7 draws in 38 games. I do think Leeds will do it this year. They're 10 points clear of Preston as I'm recording this commentary now in third. I think they'll do it, and West Brom going up as well. But as for the automatic promotion places, I know you'll be thinking or hoping I say it's going to be Sheffield Wednesday. Will. No, I'm sorry, I'm going to go with Millwall. I reckon we're going to sneak into the playoffs on the final game, 46th game, sneak into the playoffs and get to Wembley and get to the Premier League. That's my prediction. Maybe wishful thinking, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. See the Bundesliga title here, won by Bayern Munich once again. Samuel says, are you happy with your current situation or content at least? If not, what realistic changes would you like to make in the next year? No, I'm not exactly happy with how things are going at the moment. I mean, it's not been a great year for me. It's not been a great 3 or 4 years, really, you know. But it's the Juve Serie A winners here doing it undefeated. How many times have we seen this throughout the series? One of the big European giants winning the league undefeated. Milan, Europa League finalists, not winner, finished in second place there. Things have been pretty tough in recent years for myself for lots of different reasons, financially, most importantly, but lots of different reasons really. I am hoping that next year things will change financially. I think you know I need to accept now, as I hate to do this, but I don't think I'm ever going to be able to do YouTube full time again. That would be amazing, but I've just got to accept it's a different world now. It's a different site, and I'm not really what you consider sort of mainstream enough to be a success on the site anymore, as Ajax win the Dutch league undefeated. So financially things do need to change. I'm not earning enough money. I've lost all me savings on stupid shit, and yeah, I need to change that, as Benfica also in the Portuguese league as well. So next year I'm hoping I'll be able to get a job which I actually enjoy. I was working as a marketing assistant over the course of the summer for a small business in the suburb I'm currently living in right now. But to be honest, I just had very little interest in the industry I was working in, as Celtic win the SPL undefeated, shock horror, and yeah, I just had very little interest in the industry, so I wasn't really that enthralled by it. So I'm hoping next year I'll be able to get myself a new full-time job, but one I actually really enjoy, get a bit more cash in the bank, and that'll be really helpful as well. Hopefully string a few more relationships together. Right now, I'm happy being single right now. I'm enjoying being single. It's good for me to sort of focus on myself for a while. I've got very little free time at the moment, split between YouTube, gym, and job searching as well. But yeah, you never know. Maybe next year things will pick up, and hopefully I'll be able to improve things in the new year. It's technically the Turkish Super League, where Fenerbahce were crowned champions, 5 points clear of Besiktas this year, and I think we'll end a look at the other leagues right there. Harvey says, opinions on AFC Wimbledon. I've got to be honest, mate, I don't watch much League One nowadays since we're back in the Championship, so I don't really watch League One, so I can't talk about it too much. However, I do know it hasn't been the best of seasons for you guys, but the one thing I will know is that MK Dons on AFC Wimbledon, I think you two are playing in is it the penultimate game of the season? Or it's one of the final games of the season anyway, and both of you right now are, of course, struggling to avoid that dreaded drop zone. I'll tell you what, that's a game that I'll definitely be tuning into come the end of the season if you're both still struggling down the bottom end of the table. Hopefully both can get it sorted, because I've always had a soft spot for both clubs due to the fact that MK Dons were for a while, when I lived down south, my sort of official local team, even though they weren't local to me, of course, before they became franchise Dons FC. But yeah, we'll see what happens come the end of the season. That'll be an incredible battle if both of you guys need points come the end of the season. And this is a very appropriate question here from Cray47, who says, which team would you tackle after your Sheffield United career mode? Well, I'm not going to start a new career mode yet, as I'm going to run you through the full stats of the players. Look at Dean Henderson, 18 clean sheets in 37 games, 9 in 12 in the Europa League, plus that assist as well. We'll never forget that. Dean was brilliant this year at times. At times he did have some shaky moments. If you remember, he did let a few goals in which he shouldn't have done so, but he still had a great season when it was all said and done. I'm not going to start a new career mode for a while because I don't really want to, as sure, what a season. Is this Ollie Shaw's best season in a Sheffield United shirt? 15 assists in 36 Premier League games, plus 19 clean sheets in 36 as well. Incredible. In fact, he had more clean sheets. He had actually 1 clean sheet every 2 games. In fact, more than 1 every 2 games. Incredible. What a season for sure. Surely his best season in a Sheffield United shirt so far. Take a look at his attributes as well. 3-star as we know. Acceleration has only gone up by 1 stat. This is what frustrates me about career mode. Like the physical improvements. His sprint speed's gone up by 6, but his acceleration's only gone up by 1. What? I can train the sprint speed whenever I want. Give him acceleration, not sprint speed. And his strength has only gone up by 3 as well, which is kind of frustrating. But up to an 83 rated left back now. This guy, I mean, put it this way, Cray, if we do leave to a new club for the new season, which is quite possible, he's coming with me. I'm not leaving Ollie here. He's coming with me. But I won't be starting a new career mode for a while, just because, as Jamal Lewis, we take a look at him real quick, he had a great season this year. His best performance, his best season in a Sheffield United shirt. He was superb, one of our unsung heroes this year. Had an amazing second half of the season. Really, really good. I don't want to start a new career mode because I really like this one. And I think what's really good on the channel this year is that there's only one save for you guys to get immersed into, and it's this one. So instead of you having to keep up with like 2 or 3 different career modes, there's only the one team this time. There's only the one team, it's only the one save, and I think that's really helping with the immersion and getting you guys attached as well. So yeah, I'm not going to start a new career mode yet, but I probably will look to move teams for next year. What team it is, I'm not sure. I think we probably will go abroad though, with Scott McKenna getting 17 clean sheets in 37 Premier League games this year, 7 and 11 in the Europa League. He officially became club captain this year after the sale of Ollie Norwood. Oh, Scott the block. If I do leave, do I take McKenna with me? Do I take him away from the Blades or keep him here? I think I'll probably keep Scott here, to be honest, to lead Sheffield United in my absence. But yeah, I'll probably look for a European side for next year. And yeah, look to manage elsewhere in Europe. What team? I don't know. What country? I don't know. But that's what I'm thinking about anyway. And yeah, and the next question comes from Bendik. And Bendik says, what's the thing you've always wanted to do, see, or experience? I probably would say an NBA game. I'm desperate to at least watch one of them live. I have watched Team USA in an Olympic preliminary game back in London 2012's Olympics. They were playing here in Manchester, and I watched them play. It was great fun. But I'd love to watch an NBA game in particular. But I don't mean one of the London game NBA games. We haven't got one this year, of course. It's gone to France this year. But to actually go to America or Canada with the Raptors and watch an NBA game, I think the experience will be incredible. And as many of you guys know, what a season Boba had, by the way. 13 assists, 13 clean sheets in 26 Premier League games. Despite the 2-month injury, he was great. I think the experience will be amazing. As many of you guys know, I'm a massive NBA fan. It's my favourite sport, basketball. And yeah, I do hope one day I'll be able to experience that. So that's definitely the one thing I'm desperate to experience one day. And Chanda says, on the subject of NBA, as you watch a lot of NBA, what is your favourite team and who is your favourite player? Well, LeBron has always been my favourite player. He's sort of like the main reason I got into watching basketball, to be honest. So I try and watch every LeBron game I can. I've got League Pass, so what I'll often do is if I can't stay up for the game or wake up on time for the games, of course they're played in the early hours of the morning here in the UK. What a season for Walsh, by the way. 10 assists and 2 goals in 31 Premier League games. Our new number 8 this year. He was absolutely brilliant. Look at those technical stat improvements too after going up by 3. I love that. 87 ball control, 83 long pass, 87 short pass. Fantastic stats on a 19-year-old. The 82 free kick accuracy is kind of useless though, because I can't score free kicks. But either way, I love how Barry Walsh played this year. His best year in the Sheffield United shirt, I'd say. Yeah, LeBron's the reason I got into watching the NBA. But I don't really have a team in the NBA. I'll obviously watch the Lakers play more than any other team because it's LeBron James' team. But I don't have a team that I follow or have any kind of affiliation to, really. Excuse me. So I'm a neutral in the NBA, and I kind of prefer that, really. I kind of prefer that. That way I'm not biased towards anyone or against anyone. I just watch the neutral, and it's a lot of fun. And James says, what are your thoughts for the end of the season? Oh, brilliant. What are the thoughts for the end of the season with your Sheffield United career mode? Well, as I mentioned a few minutes ago there, I think my mind's made up, really. I keep on teasing it as if it's a decision for me to make, but I think my mind's made up. After winning the Europa League, James. I think it's time to move on. I really do. When we started this career mode, I said that what I wanted to do with Sheffield United was turn them into a kind of a Bournemouth, give them security in the Premier League, stability in the Premier League, and then look to move on after that. Instead, we went one step further. We didn't just give them security in the Premier League, we got them into Europe, and we won the Europa League with the Blades. That's more than I expected to do. That's more than I planned to do with this team, and because of that, we've exceeded our expectations here. We're going to leave them with an incredible young squad. Look at the young talent in this team. An incredible young squad. Eze here, 11 assists and 6 goals in 33 Premier League games. His first full year at Bramwell Lane. He was one of my favourite players this year. What a fantastic season of Brecci had. What a great year for our new number 7. Yeah, we've done more than we expected and done more than we planned with Sheffield United. So I think it's time to leave, James. I do. I think it's time to leave. I think it's time for a new challenge. A fresh start elsewhere in Europe. But as for where we're going, again, that's the one thing I'm not sold on yet. I'm not decided. I like the idea of going to La Liga, challenging Real Madrid and Barcelona's dominance. I like the idea of going to Italy and challenging Juve, but I'm not I'm not sure where we'll be ending up. I've got no idea. It could be Germany, it could be France. Got literally no idea where we're going. But I think my mind's made up now. We're going to leave Sheffield United on a high with the Europa League and go elsewhere for Season 5. DCL this year, 20 goals and 5 assists in 30 Premier League games. Best season in a Sheffield United shirt since coming home for Calvert-Lewin. Absolutely superb. For a long time, it was looking like he might win the Golden Boot. And then Ivan Toney said, Dominic, we love you, mate, but come on, man. I'm the top scorer here. Oscar Anderson's Latam's regen. Only the 2 goals since coming in on deadline day. He barely played, to be fair, in his first year. I think all of his games came from the bench as well, but future very bright with this young man. And I think I'll leave him here at Bramwell Lane so I can nurture his talent. 6'5", the new Arnold Chevalier, perhaps, who knows. And Ivan Toney, what a season for the shocker. It wasn't quite the record-breaking year he had last season with 40, but if you remember, he'd only scored, I think it was 12 goals in 24 or 25 games for us. Well, in the end, he finishes with 31 in 37. When he changed his squad number midway through the season from 29 to 40, he had a completely different type of season, much better, and 10 goals and 6 in the Europa League as well, 5 in 4 in the FA Cup, 46 in 47 in all competitions. It's amazing to think at the start of the season, we were saying this has been quite a bad beginning for Ivan Toney, but it's safe to say he definitely finished strong, going 4 ratings this year to 83 overall, 27 years old. Wherever we do end up going, James, Ivan is definitely coming with us. And for Alfredo Morelos as well, I'd say our second best player of the season this year behind Ivan Toney. His production was superb. Europa League and FA Cup Golden Boot winner with 15 and 15 in Europe, 6 in 5 in the FA Cup. And also, don't forget, in the Premier League, starting most games from the bench, played half our Premier League games, but still chipped in with 7 goals and 4 assists. Some of them were very important game winners as well. Morelos this season, second most expensive signing of the series, but without question worth every penny. He was superb, and yeah, what a season the Colombian had. But in general, what a season Sheffield United had. It was quite tough in the Premier League, no doubt about it, finishing outside the top 4 like the board are asking for, but in Europe and in the FA Cup, success, and of course major success in the Europa League by winning the trophy too. So normally at this point I would show you the academy, and as we know there's no one in the academy now after I promoted our final 4 players that were in the youth squad this season, and I'd also show you my transfer shortlist for season 5, but as it's basically been decided now, I've made my mind up, man. I want to leave Sheffield United on a high and not risk having a poor season 6 and struggling to get back in the fans' good books. I want to leave them with success, leave them on a high. The transfer shortlist now is kind of pointless because, of course, we won't be here next year and we won't be signing any of these players to the club, but this is how we leave things at. And as I'll try and answer a couple more questions whilst we wrap up the end of season special. Next one comes from Tiaguitos, who says, who do you think can win the NBA this season? Also, who do you have for MVP? I've said Lakers since before the season began. I just don't think that LeBron and AD can be stopped together. I know everyone's saying the Clippers, especially with Kawhi and PG and the defense they can play, and the switching will be so hard to break down. But I've said Lakers since the beginning of the season. They got the best record in the NBA, I believe, at this point right now, I think. Or is it the Bucks? I think it's the Lakers. Or is it the Heat? No, it's the Lakers, isn't it? And yeah, I got the Lakers winning it this year. And MVP for me is, well, I hope Luka can recover from his injury and win MVP. I'd love to see that, but I've got it down as Harden once again, personally. And Michael Jenkins says, favourite player you've had out of all your series? I honestly couldn't answer that question. There are too many legends, and we got one emerging in this series for Ivan Toney as well. I couldn't answer that one. Kyan says, are San Antonio a playoff team? I certainly hope so. I don't want to see them drop out. And Andraz says, one country you really want to travel to. I want to visit America, of course, and specifically New York, but also Brazil is the one country I'm desperate to visit one day. That's part of the reason why I'm planning to learn Portuguese next year. And I don't think I can really answer any more questions, I'm afraid, because otherwise I'll be here literally forever. So what we're going to do to end today's episode off is take a quick look at the Browse Jobs section and consider where we're going next. Now, of course, there will be a lot of domestic job opportunities here, but I've kind of made my mind up. I don't want to stay in England. We've had great success here with the Blaze in these first 4 years. We could try and resurrect Arsenal, perhaps, but I don't want to stay in England. I want to go abroad. And as we know, when you do the potential job openings, when you go into this section of the game, it will show you a few foreign ones, but if you used to advance one more day in the calendar, if you don't like the job opportunities available for you, if you used to advance one more day, quickly get to the next one here, eventually. Here we are, 26th. You'll see in the Browse Jobs section, there are different ones available for you. So we had France there with Monaco, PSG and Lyon. Now we've got Germany with, well, quite a few here, don't we? We've got Bayern, we've got Dortmund, we've got Leverkusen, we've got Schalke, Hertha Berlin, Wolfsburg and Frankfurt and Hoffenheim and RB Leipzig there as well. So just every day it presents you with loads of different opportunities in different countries as well. So if we did advance one more day, then we'll probably have, we've had France and Germany. This time we could have perhaps Italy or Spain jobs available. So there's a lot for me to, here we go, Spain. So there's a lot for me to choose between. I don't know where we're going to go though. I do quite like the idea of going to Spain and trying to topple that Barcelona, Real Madrid dominance, but I'm not too sure. I quite like the idea of going to Italy again, trying to topple the Juve dominance as well. I'm not entirely sure. If you guys have any suggestions for me, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. But I'm not too sure yet. I'll have to think about it. But we will be in Europe somewhere for the next episode. The question is, where are we going to be? I honestly don't know. It's crazy. It's really crazy to say this, but I genuinely don't know where we're going to go next. Normally in the back of my mind, I've got an idea as to what team I want to manage, what country I want to be in. But honestly, I've got literally no idea. We could be anywhere tomorrow morning. I honestly have no idea. I'll have to think about it quite a lot, but I've got no idea where we'll be tomorrow. It could be anywhere. But that will end a special in-depth look at the save, guys. So I really hope you have enjoyed today's video. And if you have, then please do drop a like. And if you enjoyed Season 4 as a whole, then please do drop a like, because it has been an amazing season, winning our first piece of silverware in the Europa League. And of course, don't forget the Premier League struggles, but still a great end to the season, doing it undefeated since February. And of course, reaching the FA Cup final as well. It was a dramatic season. It ended in celebration, but now it's time to move on. Where are we going to be tomorrow morning? I don't know, but it should be fantastic. So yeah, we'll be back tomorrow morning, and as per usual, we'll have 4 episodes over the weekend if we get 1,000 likes on tomorrow morning's video, where we'll be a totally new team in a totally new country. Don't miss it. Our new challenge begins tomorrow morning, and I literally can't wait. And for Blades fans, for Sheffield United fans, don't worry too much, because trust me when I say this, I plan to come back here at some point. I want to stint away in Europe somewhere, but I plan to come back to this Sheffield United team at one point. Like in my Millwall save back in FIFA 14, we've got unfinished business here. We'll return in a few years. We'll see how the Blades get on without me, but don't think this is the last you'll see of us managing Sheffield United. We'll be back at some point. We'll be back. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. Much love to you all. Please, if you like, enjoy the video, and I'll see you for tomorrow morning, the start of Season 5, where we'll be at a new club in a new country, but God knows where. See you for it very soon.